welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and just about everything under the sun. If you're a first-time viewer, feel free to ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And if you're watching this after the fact, you can always submit your questions to Kris@weightofthebrush.com, central hub of all the silliness. It's in the description below. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites, because then I won't read it. It's just annoying, and it's because there's ads. That's all. Also in the description below is a link to weightofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. Has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. Only one rule in the Discord. Don't be a dick. That's it. It's the only rule. Pretty simple. So feel free to join us there. Also at weightofthebrush.com, you'll find links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at weightofthebrush.com. I can't remember the rest of my spiel here. We're all kinds of delayed today. What else do I usually talk about? Social medias, links to all social medias, t-shirts, get a t-shirt, Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons. Without your support, this channel would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do. And so a huge thank you to all my patrons, brand new, and all of you continued support. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ringing the bell, blah, 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 all helps as well. It all takes a couple clicks of a button, and you help me a great deal. Big thank you to Guymere Alfer, Beer and Blood Bowl, YouTube channel. Check it out. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for creating the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so always, much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. And so always much love to my big brother Evan. And if you're into rare comics, EB Comics, it's in the description below. EB Comics. Who's joining us? I can see. I was a little late on pulling up that screen. I can see Ebb and Flow. What's up, everybody? Sup? Sophie. Hello there, everyone. Hello, Sophie. Kim. Hey. I will send an email today. Just got to do it. Okay. Sure. No problem. No problemo. Yeah, so we are in another wonderful Saturday afternoon. I imagine some of you are staying in, although as we do enter summer, at least here in the northern hemisphere of the world, we're experiencing summer, so the temperature's getting warmer, and we're, people are off from school or taking summer vacations and what have yous. So, yeah, it's time to enjoy a bit of sunshine. I realize everybody in the southern hemisphere, yeah, it's getting a little cooler. As we're heading into fall for you guys, I suppose. I often forget that this is, all over the place, and people tune in from all over, and, it's not like I'm just catering to a North American audience. At least I don't think I am. I don't know. Do you guys think I am? I don't think I am. Maybe. Should I start the show later in the day? Dark Commission, evening, Kris, and all. Evening. Spelled my name wrong. Kritis. Yeah, so we haven't been doing too many shows, Way the Brushes, or live streams for that matter. Just nature of, life and everything like that. So, yeah, meant to do one last week. Didn't get around to doing it. Just the way things kind of work and everything like that. So, but we're doing one today. I started a little bit late. Again, sometimes it is a little bit of a pain to, not do these, but it's not like this is an inconvenience or anything like that. It's just me in my office, turning the camera on with some lights and, just doing a little bit of talking and such. Ebb and Flow summer breaks start Wednesday afternoon. Woot. Yeah, so, yeah, exactly, right? I mean, Yeah, because we're June's next week. Jeez Louise, June is already next week. My God. Like, we're already into June. Where does the time go? It feels like we just started 2022. And yeah, we're already just flying through this. Lots of stuff. Lots of fun. Man, miniature release dates just have been like right after the other. Oof, man. It's like today, Kill Team, right? Kill Team Maroc, however you say it. And yeah, got an opportunity to play with Ash for this release. I painted up the Chaos. I don't have the Chaos Duders here. They're in my other studio space, but yeah, a lot of fun. Basically did a really kind of fast paint job on them. I started them like, I think it was like Sunday night. I was assembling a couple days and then started painting them, and I was working up till right the last minute, just getting them done. Did a really, really fast job. I'll post a picture or two on the Instagrams. Yeah, probably just the Instagrams. Maybe a Twitter thing. I don't know. But either way, they were a lot of fun. Really, really fast paint job. Once I post pictures, I mean, if anybody really wants me to explain, you know, what the process is, I might. I might explain myself. I'm usually not in the habit of explaining myself, so, you know, I'm just kind of like, meh, you know. Here's what I did. That's all. I think as I get older, I really start to move past the need for that dopamine hit of recognition for my efforts, you know. You kind of just, either you like it or you don't. I don't really care. Fire Drake, hello, Kris and peeps. What's all this about? About? What is this about? This is just me talking to the camera, talking to you guys, and yeah, we're just gonna talk. You know what? Let's all sit down and let's talk. Evan Belleau, I hear tell Ash paints so fast he is finishing before he gets started. Yeah, that's there's a joke there, I'm sure. I'm sure there's a joke there somewhere. Being finished before you start, kind of thing, right? So, yeah. No, we played Kill Team. You know, I mean, like I've only played a handful of games of Kill Team, and yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, you know, I think you all know my thoughts on Space Marines, and yeah, Space Marines in Kill Team. Yeah, it's easy mode. It's easy mode. it really is. If you want to challenge yourself, if you want to view yourself as some sort of tactics genius, which playing war games, it really isn't. It's really not a thing. Yeah, then play any other faction other than Space Marines. But yeah. Fire Drake, explain why you don't explain yourself. No. Sophie, fast paint job means expert paint job in Kris language and still loads better than my 5-month paint job attempt. I don't know about that, Sophie. I mean, you just got to keep going. You just got to keep painting, right? I mean, kid, I had a head start on you by like what, 20 years. So, you know, it's not that I'm better. It's just I have more experience, right? So that's all. 20 years from now, let's see where you're at, right? 20 years from now, who knows even if Kris will be around? Who knows? Who knows? Who absolutely knows? Yeah, so you know what? Let's do a quick little peek over at the G-Dubs side of things. Get my window. Yeah. So we got the kill teams. This is all in British pounds for all you North Americans. For Canadians, general rule of thumb whenever I'm looking at British pound, Basically, it's usually like double. It's double the British pound, and that's what it is Canadian. We got the dice, the blooded dice. Oh yeah, Chaos Knights. I forgot about these guys. Chaos Knights. Well, we did a Codex review on the Chaos Knights a few weeks ago when the Chaos Knight Army box set was unboxed, and I did a review of the Chaos Knights. So if you want to see the Chaos Knights review, because it's being released today, the actual Codex, just click up in the right hand corner. Yeah. Not right now. If you're watching this live, I wouldn't have put the link in yet. The Knight Abominant, War Dog Carnivores, and of course we get the Thetos pattern hab modules. I really like this big one, this extended hab module. I like this thing. It's got 2 feet, and it's extended big body to it. I like this thing. And I imagine with this terrain set, is it just simply just 2 of these things just stuck together? Oh. That's very, very interesting. See, when I initially saw the pictures for this thing, I thought, oh, okay, it's like a different body for that, the module itself. But no, it's just you use 2 of those things. Oh. So if you have the Necromunda terrain set from the box, you can pretty much do. I like this big openness of it. I like the open concepts. And it's got the double footies. Oh, okay, I see. So you just yeah, okay. So yeah, you can pretty much do this if you have the ash waste box. You can pretty much just make this. You'll just use up both your buildings. Instead of having 2 buildings, you'll just have 1 big building. That's kind of cool, though. I dig it. Me likey. God's Bane. Reductus Saboteur. I got to finish that model. I got to finish that one. Blade Champion. Dark Oath Savagers. Tarantulos Brood. Then we get the War Dogs Executioners, Huntsmen. It's all the same box set, right? Stalkers. Warcry. Looks like the terrain set and the Siphon Camp. Pit Dredgers Camp. Interesting. And then the Combat Patrols. Echoes of Doom. Yeah. So, yeah. Kill Team. Kill Teams are a big focus today. Oh, look at that. Look at the top of the page. I didn't realize. Warhammer Horus Heresy. What happens when we click that? Ooh, coming soon. Oh, we got all the little... We got new releases, 6. It's all books. Well, up until this point, right? Horus Heresy was, mainly books. It was mainly all about the books. It was all about the books. Yeah. So, of course, Horus Heresy will be released at some point in the futures. And, yeah. Sophie. Better be around, Kris. I plan to watch Away the Brush forever. What? That's an unrealistic goal, Sophie. I don't know about that. I don't know if I can last forever. I mean, unless of course we put me in a golden throne with a couple webcams, and yeah, then I'm on a big life support and I'm all Stephen Hawkins up here, and yeah. I don't know if anybody tune in for me all Stephen Hawkins up over here, and yeah. Dark Emission looks like a robot taking a Hoover for a walk. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The buildings? Yeah. The buildings? Yeah, they're kind of Hooverish. I can see it. I assume that's what you were talking about, the buildings. Yeah, they're cool looking buildings. I like the terrain from the ash wastes. I like it. And, and with the Kill Team, the new Kill Team, I like the terrain. That Warzone Frontiers, it is straightforward. Like, these are just big, chunky pieces of plastic. And it's relatively straightforward to just, get this assembled and on the tabletop. And they had that big release of the previous, like the full set. Because I assume in the Kill Team that is like half of the set for it, right? Is that still new releases? Ash Waste is still new releases. Let me see. I'm just quickly looking at the new releases here. I'm going to see if I can see it. It was Warzone Frontiers, I think is that box set? Something like that. I'm just quickly looking. I'm going to look here. Just for my own curiosity here. Okay, maybe it was a little longer than that. Okay, I'm going to go over to Warhammer 40,000 for all the 40,000s. And click All Terrain. There it is. Frontiers Knackman. That's what it was. Okay. It's Knackman. Yeah, and it looks like you get, what? One more bunker with walls. Right? Actually, that's not too bad, I guess. So with the Knackman box set, yeah, you get one bunker and walls. Now, offhand, I couldn't tell you, like... Yeah, it must be because the big landing pad is pretty much just one piece almost, and then you have the tower with the radar dish. Those are all separate, and so yeah, that's just the bunkers and wall sprues. So yeah, so Knackman is like a third of that box set. I should say the Morok box set, not Knackman. You know what I mean. Sophie, are you going to collect Horus Heresy? As you mentioned, you're not a fan of Space Marines, Kris. Collecting it, yeah, probably, slowly but surely. I mean, I really like what I'm seeing from like preview stuff and everything like that of the size of the Mark 6 armor. I'm definitely liking the size. Again, I mean, like, playing Horus Heresy sounds fun. I don't know if I'm going to be, like, really fired up to play it at all. I may. You never know. It all depends. I mean, the idea of the Horus Heresy game itself and it being, you know, Space Marine on Space Marine kind of combat and realistically, like, if anybody wanted to make a game that was more ideally suited to more tournament style competitive type of play, Horus Heresy feels closer to that kind of establishing that kind of standard of tournament type play, because the factions within the game setting are all very similar, and so they all have very similar like abilities. Right off the hop, their base stat lines are similar. Right? So, like, playing Blood Angels versus Ultramarines, right? The two forces are going to have access to the same stuff. Same tanks, same dreadnoughts, you know, same troops, same options. Well, similar options, I should say. They won't have the same options, I would assume. But my point being is that your base units are all the same, so it feels a bit more of a reliance on tactics to determine winner, and of course dice outcomes. And I've talked many times about how I feel about like the D6 system, how it's just, you know, it doesn't provide enough variability in probability with just a regular D6. And then of course you add multiple D6. Now I understand why Games Workshop stays with the D6 system for most of the games, because, well, one, the 6-sided die is relatively easy to make. They're plentiful. They're all over the place, right? Like, there's many companies that make D6s. Also, when you're rolling big amounts of dice that you tend to do in Warhammer and Age of Sigmar, you know what I mean? You grab like a bucket full of dice and you drop that on the table and, you know, you count up all your dice. Well, a D6 is easier to read, right? And any wonky dice is easy to figure out. Okay, well, that's got to get, you know, rolled again, or it's, you know, it's a muffed roll. And yeah, so I can see why it's better to stay with a D6 system in that context. Whereas, you know, if you imagine rolling like a whole bucket full of D10s, man, that's really easy to mix up your dice and even move dice that might have been, what you were looking for, and then not notch it over and, oh, it's not the right roll. And you know what I mean? Because it's too easy to make them change the number. Versus a D6. A D6 is not very easy. You got to tip it, way past half point. Whereas a D10, you don't have to tip it just a little bit. A D20, even easier. Can you imagine rolling a bunch of D20s and then trying to count up, how many, 19 or betters you had? Like, you easily mess up those dice rolls and trying to figure out, where you were, right? So I can see why they stick with D6s, but yeah, it just doesn't offer enough variability within a single roll to get much tighter responses from what you're imagining the effect would be. Like, for example, a ballistics check, right? So a Marine is shooting a D6. It's a 3 or better. So he has a 66% chance of hitting his target. But a D10, even a D12, would give you a better representation of that 66%, right? And any deviation for, like hit modifiers and what have yous would not deflect that result too heavily, right? Versus a D6. A penalty onto hits and to wounds and all these penalties on the die roll by -1 or 2. By -2 is a great reduction in probability versus a D10, D12, D20 type system, right? So that's kind of where I am at with a lot of these games. And, like, you're supposed to play them for fun. I get it. Playing for fun. And I like to play for fun. I like playing narratively whenever I get the chance. I like to play for fun whenever I get the chance. I do enjoy competitive play because I do partake in tournaments and stuff. But I don't go in with the mindset of I gotta win because I'm the best. Blah blah. You know what I mean? Like with a really competitive mindset. Gave up a lot of that stuff way back when I was a kid. Really, I probably went around somewhere when I was in my early 20s, and just kind of give up on that. Like, you let it go. Not give up. Give up's not the right way to put it, but you let it go. You just let it go. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter. Being good at miniature painting or miniature gaming, right? Being good at it, what's the point? Like, what's the end goal? There's no parades. There's no TV specials. There's no magazine ads. There's no... You know what I mean? Like, it's only for your own self-gratification? Well, then you got to ask yourself, well, what else is in that category of self-gratification? Right? What else is there? Because masturbation, jerking off, definitely falls in that category of self-gratification. Right? So, yeah. And again, when you start to come to these realizations that, yeah, it's all it is. Win or lose doesn't matter. Doesn't change anything, right? So it's just a game. It's just a game, That's all. Man, where am I here? Dark Commission at £125. You can't really call it a gateway into a main game. I'm sure you can. It's a gateway into like 125 into the age. Were we talking about the Kill Team or the Ash Waste? At either one, yeah, they are. They are a gateway, because that in and of itself, especially when everybody, especially in the Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40,000, even Horus Heresy for that matter too, but previously, yeah, those kind of low entry points in comparison to the greater whole of what the community dictates is an expensive hobby. Yeah. And that's a low cost entry. I mean, if you don't want to spend the money, then don't spend the money. I mean, if you got other things to take care of with that money, then go take care of those other things. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you other than, yeah, just, and if you really, really want it, or you want to get into the game system, then go halves with a friend, or look on secondhand markets, or, what have you. I mean, like, there's many, many options that you don't have to spend the full premium price tag on it, There's many options. Now, do you need it today on release date? Well, then, yeah, you're going to have to pay that price. That's the premium price tag you're going to have to pay for it to get it today. But if you're willing to wait a few months, go halves with a friend, pick up the box, and get your half, and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's options, man. There's options. But I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. Evan Belleau, Kris will get the Bowmore Monk Spider treatment and keep the Way the Brush stream going in Spider chassis. Oof. Jeez Louise. Disco Duke, hey. I'm sure this is all on Warhammer 40k wiki or whatever, but were the Eldar more of a force during the Horus Heresy? As obs? They're a dying race, so back then were they more abundant? Well, it's 10,000 years, and they often equate that 10,000 years because of the human expansion and the Emperor expanding outwards when the Great Crusade and everything like that. Well, that was because everything was, the warp was everywhere, but then everything coalesced into the Eye Terror when Slaanesh was born, which was the destruction of the Eldar Empire. And so somewhere around that point, the Eldar, they'd be greatly reduced in number, right? And many of them were all fleeing. So you're talking like what date by what date? I don't know if that's established. And I don't know if it's established how much time goes by from the fall of the Eldar to the Great Crusade beginning, right? Like how much time goes. Because it's not like the day of, the Emperor's like, oh, skies are clear, let's go, right? I don't think it's kind of like that, although it might be portrayed that way. I mean, these are works of fiction, and it's not actual historical information, so, it's whatever the writers want to make up, really. But in Horus Heresy, having Eldar and Orcs, sure. The only ones that you would not see a lot of, it would be ultra rare to find Necron during the time, right? I'm sure there would be instances where somebody discovers a cave and, there's a Necron warrior, it's an artifact, or, whatever like that, right? But they're not waking up yet. They're just, people are just discovering them and, that kind of stuff. And Tyranids should be non-existent because they're still, between the galaxies kind of thing, right? So they're on their way to this galaxy. And in Warhammer 40,000, it's only like 1,000 years or something like that, or 2,000 years previous that they're getting the first encounters with the Tyranids. So, yeah, it's like Tyranids are relatively new in Warhammer 40,000 because they're just entering the galaxy in that universe, whereas with Horus Heresy, Tyranids haven't arrived. They're still in the void, approaching, our galaxy kind of thing. At least that's the way the lore goes. So yeah, Eldar being abundant, no. They would have just suffered their loss of their empire, and the scattered remnants would still be running all over the place. But what would those Eldar look like? Well, I'd imagine they'd probably look more like the Corsairs, because they would still be transitioning out of their hedonistic ways. Like the way the Lord describes the Eldar is the first craft worlds really were the first people to leave the empire, because they saw how shitty things were going in their empire. So they were like the first ones to leave. Then as things were getting really, really bad, more Eldar were leaving. But as some of them were leaving, when everything implodes and becomes the Eye of Terror, all those craft worlds and stuff like that, they all just blah, and everything gets all messed up, and people are, Eldar homeworlds and stuff like that are all destroyed, and and it's only a bunch of craft worlds that escaped are the only ones. So you'd be talking about people who just suffered a massive tragedy. They're probably a little bit reluctant to engage with anybody else because they're just more concerned with their own survival. And then you'd imagine like somewhere there's that transitional period where they go from being more like what Dark Eldar are like to being more like Craftworld Eldar, right? So they'd be transitioning from that selfish and hedonistic way to this more repressed and reserved kind of lifestyle, right? And that's really the difference. So when that occurs, I mean, they can make it up. It's not like it's. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any definitive information out there according to any of the source material. I mean, most of it I think would be speculation, just from drawing conclusions from the various material. But there's nothing saying no. It was by this date. The Elder were like this. This was like this. This was this. You know what I mean? Because it's not an actual history, right? It's a work of fiction. And because it's a work of fiction, it's telling a story, right? First and foremost, we're telling stories. And it's not actual date-to-date kind of things, because this is, I mean, they're just making it up. Because when you have many authors working in a similar field, yes, some of them are going to use details to tell their story, and that might conflict with the way somebody else told a story and the way they used the details of the universe. And you know what I mean? Like, and that's why in a lot of the books, it might look like they're kind of stepping on each other's toes, because they don't. I don't think they do a lot of conversing. I don't think, but yeah. So yeah, as far as like the Eldar being more abundant, no, they should be like more reluctant to engage with other aliens, because it's like the time that their culture just got destroyed kind of thing, right? So yeah. Jabba's left nut. Yeah, GW should fuck the D6 off and just flip a coin instead. Much simpler. Yeah, you pretty much could. I mean, I realize, Jabba, you might be making a joke there, but you may as well just flip a coin a lot of times, just by how random a lot of the elements in a lot of the games are. You may as well just flip a coin. Your odds are just as successful to determining the outcome. Now, mind you, when you are playing, like, say, Warhammer 40,000, when you're playing with strategies, objectives, and playing the missions and stuff like that, the outcome becomes a little bit harder, because that's where the tactics come in, and that's a better way to go, where you're going for board control and things of that nature. It's not just straight up killage kind of thing, right? Because a straight up gunfight between two factions, and if one faction has a lot of benefits, they're just going to decimate the other side, which is why I'm not a big fan of Space Marines, because whatever works for other factions in the past, they've just given Space Marines. And so Space Marines have gotten all the fun rules of everybody else's factions, which has just made them just too overpowered. And which is why, like, again, we've talked about this many times about, like, Space Marines being the focus of Warhammer 40,000, and they shouldn't be. They should be treated like the myth that they are. They're regarded in the lore, because Space Marines are often regarded as myth amongst the greater whole of the Imperium. They're a myth. Nobody's seen them, right? They pretty sure they're out there, but they never see them. And in Warhammer 40,000, Space Marines on the grand scale fighting massive battles, I mean, you're talking about a fighting force of 1,000 soldiers, right? It's 1,000 chapters, 1,000 Marines per chapter. That's supposed to be the rules, right? That is not very many people to fight your battles, right? So realistically, the Imperial Guard really should be the focus of Warhammer 40,000. They should be the poster child of Warhammer 40,000, is the Imperial Guard, because it's just the massive armies of the Imperium holding back the tide of aliens. It's not quite as scary a universe when you're in, inch thick armor, genetically enhanced, super soldier. It's not relatable, because, and of course your motto is no fear. I mean, but again, in the games and in the universe, Space Marines are rarely playing the role of a hero. It's only ever in the context of a straight up fight, and then because you often are not getting a lot. In the Horus Heresy, it's a different story, but like in Warhammer 40,000, Space Marines are different from Horus Heresy and Warhammer 40,000, right? It's just two different periods. And when you're looking at the both of them, the Horus Heresy does feel a bit more like the Space Marines and such, and where the Imperium is going feels a little bit more relatable, as opposed to Warhammer 40,000. Warhammer 40,000 should never be looked at, the Imperium should really not be looked at as a positive in any regard for human life, because it's awful. Whereas in the Horus Heresy, the Imperium was looking up. Now, yeah, we'll skip aside, mass genocide of alien races. I didn't say they were good. I just said it was a little bit better. As opposed to Warhammer 40,000, where you're just getting mass genocide of your own planets, right? So, the Imperium is not good. And it really should be more of a lesson. A lesson in imperialism. Anyway, Lord Krabby, oh my god, wait the brush, yay, finally made it to one of these. Sup, Kris and party peeps. Sup, Lord Krabby. David Vaughn, self-gratification, don't forget to fondle the balls too. They have feelings, Yeah, you know what, and yeah, when you're sitting there and, you're having a good wank, yeah, don't forget to, juggle the eggs kind of thing, right? Good point. Good point, David Vaughn. Good point. TJ, the Hobo Painter. The Eldar origins are very old. Created by the old ones to fight the Necron, partaking in the war in heaven, if not mistaken. Yes. Yeah, the Eldar are supposed to be like millions of years old. But they're made, right? So this is the way I've always interpreted the Eldar. Because they're made, they've never really had to evolve, right? So they were made, and you can attribute whatever you want to that idea, that they thought the galaxy was theirs because they were made. And that's why they're so arrogant, because they were made. Are you seeing the No, you don't see the Okay. Anyway. Yeah, so because they were made by their gods directly, they had never felt the need to evolve. And their technology really, you know what I mean? Like, their technology really shouldn't be anything that evolved at all, right? Because it was made, right? They were made to fight this enemy. And, I mean, the way it always describes is that the old ones are fighting the Necrons. And the Necrons, are starting to get the upper hand. So then the old ones go, holy shit, we're about to lose this shit. I don't know if they said it. I'm just paraphrasing here. We need some allies. There's nothing else. Let's make some allies. So they make the Krork, Jakaro, and the Eldari. Or Eldari, whichever one. And they make those three. Now, I've always suspected that Krork, because the way they described them and the name, I always assumed that they were the orc, right? Because they described them as big, brutish. They were like the foot soldiers. They were like the cannon fodder, essentially, for the battles. Whereas the Eldari were the psychic enhanced support troops. And the Jakaro were the, I don't know, described as like masterminds or, whatever. Because they were vastly technologically advanced and in knowledge and everything like that, right? They're really, really smart. Which, in the lore of Warhammer 40,000, Jakaro are really intelligent. They look like orangutans, but they're kind of like Station in Bill and Ted, right? They just take a bunch of junk and all of a sudden you got a discombobulator and, you can blow away cities kind of thing, right? It's that kind of crap. So, again, this is all work of fiction. This is not real, people. This is not real. I should have a disclaimer on the bottom here. What we're talking about is not real. It's a work of fiction. It feels like, what, that should be on the boxes, like on the boxes themselves. This is a work of fiction. This is not real. This is driven by narrative. But yeah. As far as I've always understood it, though, yeah, that was the thing, right? And then Eldar, I remember in the old one, or not the old ones, the older Necron Codex, it describes their war with the old ones. And in the beginning, like millions of years ago, warp space and real space were one. And it was the Necrons who separated the two because the old ones relied so heavily on warp energy, right? And the Necrons separated the two. How they did that, whatever, I don't know, but that's how, you know, the war in heaven is kind of described. And so that's when the old ones make, you know, the Krork, the Eldari, and the Jakaro. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, like I said, it's a work of fiction, and it's not, you know, I mean, all it takes is for one author to write a story about a certain part and involving certain elements and flip those ideas on their head, and it completely changes everything else, right? So, and that can happen. That's likely to happen. It's probably happening right now. We've seen it happen a million times before, so it'll continue. And again, it's a work of fiction, and it's these details. We're all getting caught up on the details when really we're supposed to be looking at the greater whole of the story, the narrative of the event. We're getting caught up on the minutia, right? Sophie, if Eldar feature in Horus Heresy, wonder how they look. They would look the same. They would look, well, not the same, but they would look very similar. They wouldn't look too far off, because it all depends on how long it is from the expansion of the Imperium to the Horus Heresy itself, right? How many years go by? It's like 1,000, 2,000, right? It's a while before, you know, because it takes the Emperor a bit to organize up Saul and then begin his crusade. And then he loses his Primarchs and then spends another, you know, 100 years or a couple hundred years looking for his sons. And, you know what I mean? Like, how much time goes by? And how did they even need to transition from being the previous Eldar to the new Eldar, right? Like, or the current Eldar, contemporary Eldar? Again, these are all just details for telling a story, right? Fire Drake, Eldar suck. They create a chaos god, and every race is the problem. Time to make more room for squats. Eldar suck? Sure. They create a chaos god. Well, they didn't deliberately create that chaos god, but you need, over 10,000 years, is the Eldar deliberately creating the god of the dead, right? So the Eldar, in that respect, yes, they're making their own god. Slaanesh was a god of their own making, but they didn't really know it. Now, how does a psychic species, right? Because every Eldar is psychic. How does a psychic species not know that they're making a fucking god? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, how do they do that? I don't know. You have to be in a lot of orgies and doing a lot of drugs and not paying a lot of attention to the voices in your head to know that there's a fucking god being emerged, right? Like, you know, again, you have to be really, really, really self-centered to not see the signs of that coming, right? And I think maybe that's the point. Because Eldar are supposed to be really, really selfish, right? Anyway. Gerald Brooks, there he is. Ahoy, hoy. Ahoy, hoy. Fire Drake, the Imperium is not so bad once you get to know it. Yeah, heard that one. Lord Krabby, also Kris, you be happy to know I lost to Eldar with my Ultramarines 7 times in a row. LOL. Their meta is very good now. In my hobby circle, we got 2 new Eldar players too. It's looking up. Cool. I think it's a lot better when, you know, especially within your gaming groups, any gaming group for that matter. This is for everybody really. That say if there's like 8 to 10 of you or more, and everybody deliberately, when they're starting to pick up a new army, and they deliberately go, okay, well, what are you collecting, Steve? Oh yeah, and Jane, what do you play? Okay, and you're playing. All right, well, I'm gonna go with this faction then, since you guys are all playing that faction. I'm gonna go with this faction because why? Right? Why do people do that? Because it's better when it's a diverse group of factions to play the game, because it keeps it interesting. If Steve's playing Space Marines, Jane's playing Space Marines, he's playing Space Marines, you know what? I'm going to collect Space Marines too. And it's Space Marine on Space Marine stuff, becomes very, very boring. Now, in the context of Horus Heresy, which is Space Marine on Space Marine stuff, sure. But that's a different story, and you're getting into it for different reasons. Warhammer 40,000 is, you know, it's more of the fight of humanity against the galaxy kind of thing, right? Whereas Horus Heresy, it's the civil war. And, you know, for whatever reason, people really enjoy civil wars. Especially it seems like on this side of the planet, people really enjoy civil wars. I'm not sure why. I think people really enjoy them up until the point where they actually experience them. You know, I think that's what it is. Ada, please. The Imperium is exceedingly awful, especially once you get to know it. Yes, oh yeah. No, but again, it's a work of fiction. It's a work of fiction, right? Yes, it draws upon our own real world things, but that's any property. It's Star Trek, Star Wars, anything, right? Dune, any of it. Gerald, station. If I could get my voice a little bit squeakier, I'd do the station voice. Station. I can't do it. Ada, please. But that's just my chaos propaganda. Sure. I mean, you know. Again, I mean, like the idea of chaos as well. You know, the humans being corrupted and becoming all mutated and having a real fetish for spikes and chains and skulls and stuff. Yeah, you know. Sure, it's a narrative thing, right? It's not like what is it about the powers of chaos? No matter what god is pulling the strings, why is it always spikes and skulls? And you know what I mean? Like, why does that immediately become the aesthetic, right? Because again, these are just narrative elements. They're just details, and people are getting hung up on the details when you're trying to tell a greater story. You know, the details really aren't that important, as opposed to the greater narrative that is being told. TJ, the hobo painter. Yeah, that's the basics, gist of it. A wonderful interpretation, Kris. Evan Belleau, listen to all this heresy. Do you want Exterminatus? Because that's how you get Exterminatus. Well, in Warhammer 40,000, because I don't know if there is Exterminatus in Horus Heresy. Is there? I mean, I'm sure like they've viral bombed or whatever the fuck. You know, alien worlds during the Crusade. But Exterminatus, the term Exterminatus is a 40k term, right? And Exterminatus being, you just blow up your own planet. Like, they don't go to the Tau worlds and Exterminatus their worlds, do they? Is there stories of the Imperium exterminatusing Tau worlds? Because you only ever hear about Exterminatus when it's an Imperial world, right? So is Exterminatus only reserved for human worlds? Do they not do it to Orc worlds? Tau worlds? It's kind of hard to do Eldar worlds. Eldar are all on spaceships. They don't have worlds. Ha. Technicality. Ha. Fire Drake. This is forgotten history. 40k happened a couple million years ago before our current time. Sure. Yeah. Sophie, Warhammer isn't real. I'm crushed. Next you be telling me there's no Santa. Evan Belleau. Wait, what's this? What's Santa now? Yeah. Fire Drake. Sorry, Sophie. Also, Slash isn't real. The guitar player Slash? From Guns N' Roses Slash? Miles Kennedy and Slash? The Snake Pit Slash? Velvet Revolver Slash? I don't know what else he's done. I was just gonna keep listing off a bunch of things he's been associated with. But yeah, that Slash, is that what we're talking about? Slash? He's not real? How is he not real? Gear Guts Mech Shop. Didn't Liber Chaotica Slaanesh cover it rather well? You know what? I never read those source books. Didn't it cover it rather well? I don't know. Did it? I never read it, so I couldn't tell you. David Vaughn. Eldar were too focused on their stroke techniques to see the god they were creating at the time. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. You know? And the overcorrection to them birthing a god was, well, for them to deliberately birth a god, but also was to overcompensate for that lifestyle that led them to that, and then overcorrect to a really repressive, self-denial type of existence. And again, either one, or again, you should really be drawing your moral lessons from these characters' mistakes, right? That's the point of these kinds of stories, is to tell like kind of a moral of the story, and we can draw our own conclusions just from our own observations, right? So yeah, all you gotta do is just read these stories, and then instead of looking at it through the character's lens, step outside of it and view as an outside observer the whole situation and what we're talking about, and you come to different conclusions, and you come to different messages within the stories, which is what makes it really, really fun, which is why I think that a lot of these novels and the authors who create this stuff are so important to this hobby, because it is this sort of trickle down of storytelling, right? Because essentially when we are reading the books, watching the movies, TV shows, whatever, and it trickles down and it starts to permeate in our imagination. And then when we play games, right, we're already telling narrative stories just in that context of that game itself, because we can draw upon all that other information to further enhance our hobby experience. Which is why narrative play, in my opinion, is really important. And it doesn't seem like many people are concerned with narrative play, of telling the story, of continuing the story, of playing out the story, of finding your own story. And I think that's a real missed opportunity. Everybody's so concerned about what's the meta. Oh, the meta. Oh. And in your local gaming groups, as far as what the tournament scene meta is, does it really affect your current meta? Other than the fact that you probably have one or two people in your gaming group who really pay attention to that stuff, and it really influences their choices in playing games, right? Otherwise, no, your local metas are different than what you would see from a tournament meta, right? Because if you have somebody in your gaming group who always plays tanks or big tanky units because they really like them, but that can alter the meta, because for whatever reason he's bringing big chunky units and tanks and tanky type units, and you got to constantly play against that. That changes the meta in your community, and everybody's like, oh man, he plays that way, okay, well I'm gonna bring my big tank busting stuff. Oh, they're playing that way, I'm gonna bring my big tank. And nobody's playing big balanced forces, and everybody's always concerned about a meta, and the meta is always constantly shifting, and chasing a meta is ultimately pointless because it's constantly shifting. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. It constantly will fall through your fingers, right? So chasing the meta is ultimately pointless. Trying to stay current with the meta, sure, you can ride that wave, right? Once you're in the wave, you can ride that wave like a surfboard, right? Essentially, that meta is just that big crest, and if you're riding the meta, you're right in that I don't know what do they call that when you're in the surfboard and you're inside? I know it's when it's right over. That's the tube. Is it the tube? I think it's the tube. But like, what is it before? Like when you're just right up on the wave. Anyway, I think you got my analogy here. And yeah, I mean, you can ride the wave, sure. Try to catch the wave. That's kind of tough. You got to really swim fast. I'm losing the metaphor here, but I think you guys get my point. Fire Drake. That's how I started Chaos. My friend got Ultramarines and another got Space Wolves, so I became the bad guy. Exactly, and that's how most gaming groups go, right? And I think that, like, see, and that should also speak to something into the back of your brain. Why make those choices? Why? Why is it that this person's going to go Space Marines, this person's going to go Tyranids, this person's already playing Orcs? I'm getting into this. What should I play? Well, why don't you try this faction? The Eldar. Whatever. Oh, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Why do you think we make that choice? because it's better with diversity. Not to hit the nail too hard on the head, but I mean, that's the point I'm making. Shit, where am I? Gear Guts Mech Shop. It covers the Eldar being taught how to create their weapons in the warp or gods by the old ones. Oh, cool. Yeah, maybe I'll give that one a try if I can find a copy of it. Because I know those were some older books. They were like big books, weren't they? Those are the ones I'm thinking of? Maybe it's the wrong ones. You know what? Because it was what, you Gear Guts that mentioned the book? Maybe? I can't remember who mentioned it about the book. Yeah, it was Gear Guts. Yeah, Chaotica Slanesh. Yeah. Yeah. Leave a link. Is it still available from the Black Library? Like, is this... Because I thought these Chaotica books, there was like 4, right? Because I thought there was a Khorne one, Slanesh one, Tzeentch, and somebody else. Nurgle. But yeah. Russ Sandbags. What do you feel is the best way to get brand new players into 40k? Make it fun. Make it fun. How would you like to have fun at this game? Your enthusiasm is infectious. Enthusiasm is infectious. So, if you want to get new players in, or you have a friend who you are trying to entice into the game, make it fun. Involve them in the game, play some demos with them, and make it fun. Make sure you have fun. Because if they have fun, they're going to enjoy it. And they get that little dopamine hit. And they go, ooh, this was fun. I'm going to play it again. Why? Because I like the game. Why do I like the game? Because I get a dopamine hit. I like endorphins. Right? So that is my point. That is my point. Just make it fun. You want to get people in, you want to get anybody, a complete stranger. Yeah, you say, hey, you want to try this out? It's a game. It's blah, blah, blah. And we, these little duders move around. We move, we roll dice, we have some laughs, we talk about stuff, and, right? Because, like, wargaming, the actual tabletop experience is a very social thing. Which is why those who have difficulty being social, are often, they don't play a lot of games, or they don't do a lot of interactions, and they are often more concerned with the details. They're often concerned with the details and not the greater whole. They're not seeing the big picture. You have to embrace a larger view of the universe. So, and it's got to be fun. You got to have fun. That's the whole point of these games, is to have fun. So, if you're not having fun, then you're not going to entice anybody to play. Right? So, if your motto is to constantly win, 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 that's not going to encourage anybody to play. Because they're not having fun. And games are supposed to be fun. First and foremost, any of these games, no matter what company is making it, they should be fun. Who plays games out of... I don't even know. I don't even know what would be the... Like, why play a game if it's not fun? That's the whole point of games. Because otherwise it's just work. Right? If you can't have fun with it, and if you're not having fun playing these games, then you probably should stop. You probably should stop. If you're not having fun at this, yeah, you probably should stop. Now, if this is your job, that's a different story. But for the 99% of you out there who still hobby for fun, yeah, you should be having fun. That should be your first goal. So enticing new people, new players, building your community, yeah, having fun. It's all about having fun. And so if you have somebody in your gaming group who is hilarious and fun and everybody enjoys when they're around, that's the person that really should be encouraged to play more and be more involved with the community. And you know what I mean? And if you can help them attract more people into the hobby, then you definitely should encourage that person to be that linchpin in your community. And that's the only way. That's the only way, is to have fun and to make it fun for others, because it's a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game. It doesn't mean anything. There's no deeper meanings behind anything. It's just for fun. It's a game. It's a hobby. Hobbies are supposed to be fun. If you're not having fun at your hobby, then find a new hobby. Pretty simple. Like these are just life lessons, people. Like, life is not complicated. It's not. People want to make it complicated, right? But it's not. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know where the hell I am in these comments. Gear Guts. Oh, long gone, sadly. Oh. Well, I'm sure they'll show up somewhere, right? Breezing through. Russ. I would agree fun is important. Also focus on what player likes. They like RPG, bring more story and narrative game to the table, etc. Sure. But it's having fun. It's a game. It's a game. You're having fun. You're not playing in a tournament type setting. Now, if you're the kind of player who enjoys tournament type playing, I'll bet you have a harder time building a community around that. Around the same aspects of the game that you enjoy. I'll bet you have a harder time gathering support. Building a community, I should say, not gathering support, but building a community. Because that's what's going to keep this hobby alive and keep your enthusiasm in the hobby, is having a community, a physical community. The digital community, it's not a real community. Anything that happens online, Twitter, Instagrams, YouTubes, Twitches, Facebook, whatever, that's not real. This is just it's a band-aid to get you to enjoy your hobby time, your free time, your excitement about this. Being part of an actual community is way better and way more fulfilling than being caught up in all this digital stuff, because it's not real. It's not real. But being part of the actual people, because then you know the actual people and you're part of a community. And that's all anybody really wants, is to be part of a community, to belong. So people who are really, really view the world in this very dour outlook, it's because they don't feel like they're part of a community. They feel out of place. They don't have a place to be with their own people, so to speak. And that's why, like, conventions and stuff like Nova, Adepticon, LVO, all the other conventions, that's why people clamor to them. Because you want to belong. You want to be part of a community. Yes, it's a goofy thing, but so what? Everything's fucking goofy at this point. And you just want to be happy. That's all people want, is just to be happy. Play a game. Yeah, I got to work my 9 to 5, but you know what? I get an hour or two out of the day where I can sit down and I can read my codex, or I can paint a model, or I can play a game. And you know what I mean? That's all we want. We just want a little bit of peace and quiet every once in a while. And we want to be part of a community. And when you're part of a community, you have a group of this community friends. You might not, go out and hang with them, or, have beers with them, or invite them over for barbecues, whatever. But you're part of a community. And everybody kind of knows each other. Everybody kind of shares stuff with each other. And oftentimes, with your hobbying, you can also work out trades and, or commissions or whatever. Like, it's far better to be actually part of a physical community than it is being part of a digital community. The digital community is just more like a Band-Aid. Being part of the real community in your area is way more important. And if you don't have that community, then what are you doing? Firejack. I miss the days when chaos were crazy powerful, demons were insane, and kind of formed a realistic narrative every time I faced them. Because you were scared of them? Way back in the day, like Bloodthirster, Man, everybody had bloodthirsters in the Chaos Armies. Oh shit, son of a bitch. In second edition, yeah. Well, even in Rogue Trader, yeah. Fucking bloodthirsters, man. They were just too fucking powerful because they had Terminator armor. You shoot him with last cannon, he still had a pretty good chance of saving against it. Oh, excuse me. Russ Sandbags, breezing. Okay, thanks. Kim, have you started the Chaos Knight or the War Dogs? No. Breezing through. Win-win tends to end in disagreement and frustrations. Win-win tends to end in disagreement and frustrations. Win-win. Like being concerned with wins? Yeah, oh yeah. If your only concern is to win at the game, that's your only motivator in your lizard brain, then yeah. You need a little bit more perspective, I think. And anybody that, has to win at the game, they have to. Then you have to question what else is going on in their life. If they feel like they need this, they just need this little thing to be just right because everything else is fucking fucked up. Then you might want to extend a hand and say, hey, what else is going on with you, bud? What's going on? Because you're awfully really focused in on this. Is there something else going on that you need help with? Is there somewhere where, you can get help? Is there somebody in your community that can help you, right? So, anyway. Ada, please. I win one out of 3 of the games, but I always have fun. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I mean, winning 1 out of 3, who cares? I mean, again, most of the time, games of Warhammer 40,000, you can determine who's going to be the winner. Flipping a fucking coin. Just flip. Yeah, bang, boom. Oh, yeah, the Space Marine's going to win. Oh, the Space Marine's going to lose. Oh, Romu 36 GW whole motto is to have fun. Right. Is it their whole motto? I don't know if that's their whole motto, but I didn't. What is Games Workshop's motto? I don't even know what Games Workshop. Is it on their site? I'm still on the site. Let's see. Games Workshop. What's your motto? I don't know what their motto is. Do they have a page? What is that called? Maybe in their press room? Let's see if it's in their press room. No, it just shows me share prices. And oof. Yeah, the year's not been good to them, for their stock prices. Yeah, I don't know. What is Games Workshop's motto? Does Games Workshop have a motto? Do they? Because if they do, you're gonna have to show me what it is, because I don't know what Games Workshop motto is. Which is fine, because they just make plastic soldiers and make games. You know what I mean? Am I looking to Games Workshop for answers on life? Fuck no. No, nobody should be looking to any corporation for any answers to any of life's questions. No, negative. 0. You should never be doing that. You should never. Should I go to Coca-Cola and say, yeah, I'm really having a hard time figuring out if I really am straight. Coke, can you help me out? Like, what? Like life's deepest questions. And we should be looking to a corporation for guidance? Fuck no. Don't be crazy. That's absurd. That's absurd. Any corporation. I'm talking any corporation. And any and all corporations. You should not be looking to them to be your moral high ground. Fuck no. For God's sakes. Let's end this silliness. Please. Because when I see that kind of shit, and I see it all the time, I'm not talking just about Games Workshop, I'm talking like any and all corporations. When you have so many people who are like, no, Pepsi's gonna save us. Ugh, right. Twitter. Oh, Twitter. Facebook. Right? No. For God's sakes, no. You missed the point. You've missed the plot, I think, at that point. You missed the plot. I don't know where the hell I am now. Fire Drake. I have fun with when I have crushed my enemy, have them driven before me, and hear the lamentations of the women. Okay. Breezing through. I will lose a game more so with newer players just to make the player I am with have more fun. Well, I don't think you have to throw the game, but you definitely do not have to go meta on them, right? So getting a new person involved in the hobby, and because some players, some people, they don't want to be patronized either, right? You don't want to patronize somebody playing the game. Okay, well you're gonna play with your 1 Space Marine, and I'm gonna play with 10 Imperial Guard. Oh, look at you, just mow down all my guys. Wow, you're so powerful. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to enter the hobby in that fashion because it's not healthy. No, you should show them the game and, let them find what it is about the game that they enjoy. So just don't do anything that you personally have been really annoyed by other people in games and what have you, whatever it might be. Try to avoid that, right? Because if you didn't like it, it's very likely that new people aren't going to like it. So don't do it to them. Don't break the cycle and do I was about to say do unto others, but I think you get my point. So anyway, Kim, so probably just going to buy 1 loose before I get that kit, so I got 2 for the new ones. Cool. Romu 36 agreed. YouTube is headphones at the hobby table, like right now. Yeah, and I mean, like, for me, I mean, I know, like, because of the nature of this program, I tend to drop like a lot of F-bombs and what have you, so you can't really watch this with the speakers on. I know some of you have families and small ones running around, and you definitely don't want to have my foul mouth playing over the loudspeakers, in full Dolby 7.1 audio, I'm sure. But God bless everybody else who does. Zero's Hobbies. What's up, Kris? What's up? Sophie, well, for me, it's the painting, little gaming, the streams, and having fun gossip laughs with other hobbies. Without them, there won't be any fun. Sure. For you, the hobby is very isolated. You're insular, I should say. You're insulated from a lot of the stuff. That's fine. Because, I mean, not everybody has to enjoy the hobby the same way. But for those of us who are concerned about the hobby community itself, building local communities is the most important thing to continue everybody else's hobby enjoyment. Because if there are no local hobby spaces, there are no local gaming groups, there are no local whatever, then everybody's little isolated pockets. And nobody plays. Everybody talks about meta, especially online, but nobody's playing each other online. Right? So the meta it's almost a fabrication of the internet. It's almost a fabrication of the internet. In the sense that it's only people on the internet who are ever repeating back these meta talking points. Right? And it's only like when you get into the big tournament type settings that we see these metas play out. But in local gaming groups, I seriously doubt big tournament meta is greatly affecting your local meta. Because if it is that situation, which I'm sure maybe 1 or 2 groups out there are, greatly affected by everything they're hearing on the internet. And so basically, it sounds like a gaming group that does not really think for itself. It doesn't sound like it has any leaders in there. It doesn't sound like it has anybody who's concerned with building a greater community locally, right? That's what that sounds like. If that is what I'm hearing from a gaming group that is greatly affected by internet meta. It sounds like there's no leadership and nobody's actually having fun. They're just more concerned with winning. Everybody's only concerned with their own self-gratification. That's what that sounds like to me. Biddy bee boo, biddy bee bee boo boo. Man, where am I? Kiram Hiri Mary Meme Merelglue? Fuck, I fucking completely fucked that up. In my local game club, everyone plays to win. Well, everybody should play to win, right? Because everybody wants to win, right? Nobody goes that says, I'm going to put together 5,000 points of Imperial Guard to lose every single game. I want to lose every game. I'm going to build the crappiest army, have all these tanks, all these, all these troops. I'm going to have all the strategies. I'm going to thoroughly read my codex so I can lose. Nobody does that. Nobody. I don't think there's a single soul out there whose entire dedication to the game is to lose. God bless them if they are, but I don't think so. I don't think anybody's doing that. Because that would be hilarious. And if you came to my town and you were the consummate, no, I have to lose. I have to lose at this game. I cannot win at this game. I have to lose. They came in, yeah, I'm definitely getting you a beer if you're old enough. But yeah. Because guaranteed somebody who comes into the game with that kind of attitude, yeah, I'm going to lose. Yeah, they're probably pretty fun to be around. Because they know, they have very realistic expectations. And they know that a lot of these games, it's a coin flip. It's a coin flip, right? So, the game used to feel very tactical, but I might have been kidding myself. Oh, man. Where the hell am I? Zero's hobbies. I used to play to win for a long time, never felt satisfied even after the win. I learned to enjoy the narrative and the hobby more, and now winning doesn't even matter to me. No, it does. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. I mean, everybody plays to win. Sure. Right? Because it's a game. And you're pitting a person against a person kind of thing. And, you want to challenge and, you want to flex your muscles a little bit as far as your knowledge of the game, tactics, and, and of course, luck being a big factor as well. But yeah, I mean, nobody wants to lose. Everybody's playing to win, but it's how far are you willing to get this win in something that ultimately does not matter. Like winning the grand tournament of Warhammer 40,000, whatever grand tournament, the biggest tournament in the planet, and you're the winner of it. What changes? Is it something that they're going to engrave on your tombstone? Are you going to be remembered in the history books? Is it a world-changing event? It's like... See, the way I often look at it, does it have groupies? No? Then it doesn't matter. If there's no groupies, it doesn't matter. Essentially is what I'm driving at here. Is there groupies? Is there bus loads of people who just want you physically? Chasing after you because you are the greatest painter in the world, the greatest tournament player? Right? Are there a bunch of groupies? No? Then it doesn't matter. So there, that's it. That's it. That's my thoughts on it in a nutshell. For me personally, if being the greatest miniature painter in the world, winning all the golden demons, winning all the crystal brushes, winning all of the things, is it getting me laid? Are there groupies? No? Then it doesn't fucking matter. Tournaments. Being the grand wizard of the tournament. Does it matter? Are there groupies? No? Doesn't matter. That's just my opinion on it. From my perspective. But yeah. Or maybe I'm thinking about tail a little too much. Maybe that could be it too. I don't know. Anyway. Radu Lycan. My hobby group plays original Necromunda, and we play for fun and cool story more than to win. Of course, yeah. And that's the fun of Necromunda. That's why I really enjoy Necromunda. Because, yeah, you can play it in a more of a, one-on-one, just pick a scenario, play it out, one and done kind of thing, right? But what I really like about Necromunda is that you can start off with this little egg, and if you cultivate it and you try to make the right moves, you can add to it and make it bigger and let it grow and grow and grow, and then become elements of it become more powerful as the more victories come, and you know what I mean. And that's that's part of the fun. That's what I really like about narrative and crusade and campaign type games. That's what I really enjoy. And so when you can fit in a narrative across the whole thing, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's immersive, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a better way to play, in my opinion. It's a better way to play. It's more fulfilling. And oftentimes, like I can remember back in my Rogue Trader days when we were playing scenarios and stuff like that. I remember those games went way better, even though I might have lost or whatever. But we were telling a narrative story through the whole thing, or we were doing a campaign or whatever. I remember those games way more than any of the competitive games I've ever played. And I've taken part in many tournaments over the last 25 years. I've played in many tournaments. And the games that I played, do I remember specifics? No. The narrative games, the really great moments out of those narrative games, fuck yeah, those are memories burned into the back of my brain for all time, because those were great moments. Tournament, straight up competitive type of game, nah. Do I remember every game? No, not even close. In fact, I'm trying to remember the last tournament. What happened? Win or loss? I don't really recall. But the narrative games that I used to play in 2nd edition and Rogue Trader, oh yeah, I remember those moments. Again, like one of my favorite moments was Buddy taking a shot with a las cannon, going through three windows to make the shot with the las cannon across the table. He needed a 6 and then another 6, and he made it, and he pecked the target and killed it, and we laughed. And it was like, because he was needing a 6 and then rolling another 6 to make the shot. It was a las cannon shot through a window, killing a guy, and yeah, hilarious. Always will live on with me. It's just those kind of moments that are just like, wow. Yeah, that kind of moment could come up in a tournament, but will it have the length, the longevity? I don't know. Fire Drake. My grandfather taught me to never patronize people. I got 100% and just tell you what you did wrong. You get better by losing. Sure. Well, when you lose, you learn. Hopefully. Excuse me, I'm getting really gassy here. I ate before I did the stream today. Yeah, I mean, don't patronize people, but it's when you're the teacher, your goal isn't to just smack them about. What did you do wrong? Psh, no, you did this wrong. Psh, no, you did that wrong. Oh, bang, now this whole unit's dead. Bang, see, you should have been here. Bang, bang, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to get smacked up in a learning experience. That's why you can't smack kids in classrooms anymore. At least I'm told. I don't know, it's been a long time since I've been in a classroom, so... But anyway, yeah, it's, nobody wants to learn like that, right? It's better when they're guided to their end result being either a win or loss. And the win is a learning experience, and the loss is equally a learning experience. That is far more constructive to creating a new fan, a new gaming member of the community, possibly a new painter, possibly all the possibilities start to unlock as soon as you get a new person. And so with more possibilities, and then you get another new person into the hobby, bang, there's another new set of probabilities. And then those new people start collaborating on things, and also more and more possibilities become possible. And it expands, and it just gets way better. It's way better when you have an actual physical community. I have no idea. Zero hobby. Truth. Lord Krabby, I'm using the voice clip. If there are no groupies. Sophie reminds me getting a lottery ticket saying Hi, like to waste a couple of pounds on a lottery? LOL. I lose more than I win, but it's still fun to play. Sure, yeah, and lottery. I mean, that's the right mentality when going into like a casino, right? You have your limit. I'm going to spend $100, and I'm going to lose this $100. Expect to lose the $100. If you walk out with $100, then you won. Even though you broke even, you still won, and you still had fun. Hopefully. Right? If you come up with more, great. But expect to spend that $100 to have fun, relaxing in the casino, playing whatever your favorite games are, and you know what I mean? Like, that's the mentality. That's a healthy, in my opinion, that's a healthy mentality to have in most scenarios like that. Kiram Hayrai? Kiram Hayrai? Fuck. It keeps you from getting laid. Keeps you from getting laid. Yeah. What? Playing the game? Evan Belleau, episode 381. Does it have groupies? No? Then it doesn't matter. Right? I mean, like, am I totally wrong in the regard? Is it just me being an asshole? I don't know. But, yeah. That's pretty... Oh, by the way, Eb, you win. Can you put quotations in the title? Apparently you can. Yeah. So, Eb, you win today. You win the day. Today is yours, sir. Yeah, that's pretty much, how I feel about a lot of this stuff. What time we at here? 1:41. What time did I start? What time did I start? Time did I start? I've been talking for an hour and a half. Is that right? Yeah, hour and a half. Oops. Heretic Scott. Hello, monkeys. Hello. Sophie. Groupies. Nope. Fans. Followers. Yes. No, I know, but what I'm saying is like movies, music, TV, right? Do those things have groupies? Right? Are there groupies for all sorts of celebrities? Right? Being an internet celebrity in this genre, I do not consider it celebrity. Like, I do not consider myself a celebrity by any stretch. I do not consider any other content creator in this genre, like wargaming, as celebrities. I think you're a celebrity like when when people are actively talking about you in newspapers and TV shows on the news, and you know what I mean? That's when you're a celebrity. That's when you're a celebrity. Is when people outside of your ring of what you're known for know about you. That's when you're a celebrity. So people in wargaming, do people in video games widely know about you? Do people in music know about you? Do people in movies know about you? You know what I mean? No? Then you're not. You're just a person. Are you well known within the community? Yes. In that regard, sure, a celebrity. But, yeah, no. Groupies? Does it come with groupies? I'm not. I don't want to be involved unless there's no groupies. Heretic Scott, man, here was me thinking, yes, I have a free day today. I'll make the show on time. Yeah, no, I've been rambling this whole time. Apparently, I've been rambling for an hour and a half already, and all I've done is looked at the G-Dubs page on what they're pre-ordering today. Sophie, wow, shouldn't smack kids at all. Save it for the adults who like it. All right, there's your t-shirt motto right there. Nathaniel, greeting, Kris and fellow monkey. Greetings. Zero hobby. Slap, slap. All right, let's jump over to the Instagram side of things. Which window do I usually use for that? Oh, yeah. Here we go. The No, it's this one. Instagram. Now, see, I see this Terminator, but I didn't see it in the feed down below. Space Wolf Terminator. Disco Duke. Or Disco Minipator, excuse me. Give it that like. Old school Terminator. Like the muzzle burn. Very nice. I like that you didn't feel it necessary to go all the way into the blues and such. You just kept within the golden, sepia values. I like that. I also like the old school reference page in the background. Very, very cool. All right, let's get started. This one's from good buddy Huron Belmont. Let's give that a like. Seraphon Old Blood Proxy. So I assume this is probably a 3D print, I guess. Is there more pics? No, there's no more pics. Like the work on the feathers. Like the skin. Like the overall color values. Yeah. Yeah, I dig it. It's clean. It's effective. It's an interesting sculpt. This one's Paint Minis 1990. Farther and Son Dunbard the Second and King Bran of Dale. Let's give that a like. Really nice work. Nice and clean. Really good work. I even like the little scratches on the shields and stuff. I like the work on the face. I like at the different value in the bottom lip. No, it's really good. I like the work on the leather too. It looks like a bit of like a deer in a headlight. No, I really like your work on the leather though. That's really good. Like the brown elements. I like it. Yeah. Very, very clean. I like it. I mean, if you can work really clean like this early on in your hobby, growth, yeah, you improve quite fast. It seems to be one of those defining things, I think, in a lot of hobbyists when they venture into, trying to concentrate on, getting quote unquote better at painting. Staying nice and neat. I've talked about this many, many years. Just practice prepping your models, priming your models, and getting a nice smooth base coat down. And once you've mastered laying a nice smooth base coat, everything else seems to just come quite quickly after that. And yeah, did you paint that wood grain in the shield? Oh, that's really cool. Like, did you draw it in, or was that textured? Either way, it looks good. It's just, yeah. From here, it looks like it's painted on, but I don't know if it's actually sculpted in there or what. Oh, that's really good. This one's from Kim, the Commemorative Series Inquisitor. I had one of my online friends buy this for me, Chicago, and shipped it to me in, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, Tromsø? Anyway, in the north end of Norway, so I could get my hands on the Inquisitor and the Orc in the Commemorative Series. Shoot, did I give that last one a like? Yes, I did. Okay. So it's an Inquisitor, Commemorative Inquisitor. Like the non-metallic metal. Like the little ghosty energy. Yeah. Very, very cool. Yeah. And now, is he done? I'm going to assume he's done. Yeah, I don't recall seeing this in the Discord, Kim. Did you post any of this in the Discord? I mean, I might have thumbed it up, but sometimes I just do that just to show you guys that I'm paying attention. But yeah, obviously sometimes I'm not paying attention because I don't recall seeing this. A few days ago, you must have posted on Discord. You usually post on Discord. Oh, the armor's purple. Oh. Yeah, see, some of these pics look a little dark. So it's kind of hard to read what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like it, Kim. It's good stuff. I like your work on that blade. Blade's really good. I like how it transitions into the green in the reflectivity of it. Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Ooh. Some battle tech from Huron Belmont. First time painting a Beetle-Tech Mini. A Beetle-Tech. Yeah, very cool. I like it. I like the camo pattern. It looks really straightforward, which I can completely get behind, because I mean, this guy's about as tall as a Space Marine maybe, and yeah, it's not a lot of surface there. No, it's really good. Disco mini painter, something a bit different than the usual fantasy I tend to do. A classic metal Space Wolf Terminator. I'll be painting this as the Codex paint job with a few more up-to-date effects, such as heat effects on the gun. So I guess I jumped ahead when I clicked that one picture, because I assume this is the same Terminator. I'm going to assume. Giving it the old school paint job with probably new school paints and new school techniques. Actually, there's not really any new school techniques. Unfortunately, with painting, it's all been pretty much done the last 500 years. Did I like the last one? Yeah, I did. Simply mini painting some terrain. Love it. Very cool. Very effective. I like the color. Excuse me. Is it a brown underneath, or is it a metallic underneath? And then you've painted on this oxide on it, because it looks like it's a lot of dry brushing, which I approve of. And I like you have elements separated even within the color. It's almost monochromatic in that regards, like where you're using the same color but use different variations in hue to establish, like I'm looking at like his staff, like the grips are brighter than the main shaft, right? They're still the same, but there's separation there. Even like the little tabard piece running down like the front of the cloth kind of thing. Yeah. I dig it. Yeah, it looks like an old bronze statue. I'm just curious though, is it a brown, or is it a metallic brown, like bronze? I like the highlighting on the walls, and the brick. I like how you kind of come in, like it's like flanked by light, just catching those edges just on the outside there, as opposed to kind of doing a bit more of a spotlight highlight coming down, straight down. It's more like it feels like the light's coming in at the sides, kind of thing, which looks cool. It's a style approach, right? It's just a stylized look. It looks like a metallic, doesn't it? Did you dry brush those colors up to the metallic? Or start with a metallic and then dry brush those colors up? That's a very interesting approach if that's the way you did it. It works, don't get me wrong. Or is it some stippling with a little dry brush finish? If I had to guess, that's what I'd guess. Simply mini painting, Knoll Barbarian. Looks like a werewolf to me. Interesting looking model. I'm not familiar with where this is from. Looks like a 3D print almost. Is it a 3D print? I don't know. Those horns feel like they'd be more of a liability. Like if you're actually in a fight, those horns, like, they're not guarding you. They feel like you're more likely to puncture yourself into your horns on your shoulders. I'm just saying. I mean, I realize we're talking the logistics of getting into a fight as a werewolf, but, Green leaf terrain, autumn trees and rocks. Let's give that a like. Very, very cool. Adam taking pictures these days, taking slightly better pictures these days. Not slightly, but a lot better. I was helping him out there a few weeks ago, just with some ideas on how he can improve his photography game. And yeah, you know what? These are a lot sharper looking. Yeah. Very, very cool, Adam. Disco Gonna call this one done. My converted Knight of Shrouds on ethereal stead. It's on a stead. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, we've seen a little bit of this one as he's showing us work in progress of this one. No, I like the green. I like the texture, man. Texture is so much fun. Even on his helmet, I like that little texture. On a sword, I don't know. I don't know, like, if it needed to be that, have that non-metallic metal vibe, especially with that big clump of rust on it. I don't know if it needed that. Because that feels more like blight on the blade as opposed to the blade is rusting. You know what I mean? Like the sword looks like it's relatively, pristine with this big zit mark of rust on it, But anyway. Really nice paint job. On the armor on the forelegs of the horse, that looks really good. The non-metallic metal effect. I mean, like the non-metallic metal on the sword looks good. Don't get me wrong. It's just the rust. It feels more like a blight on it. It feels more like a blemish as opposed to being the sword having rust really built up on it, right? Yeah, very cool. Looks like a corn husk on the base in the middle. Is that some corn husk? Greenleaf terrain, ruined Abby. You ruined Abby? What would you do to her? Simply mini painting, another one. Did I like the last one? Yes, I did. Oop, no. There we go. I like the glow on the gears. I even like how, like on the upper third gear, you have a bit of that OSL, the light bleeding up on it. Very, very cool. Now, here's a question. When moving that blue into the metallic, did you blend it or did you just layer them on top of each other? Or did you do like a wet blend? Or did you feather it? I'm curious. Me personally, I probably would have wet blended the effect. Just so that I got a seamless transition of color into the metallic. More endless spells. Let's give that a like. Yeah, I like that one. I like how it's got that really nice gradient from the bright blue to that green. What is it, dragonflies? Dragonflies busting out of an egg or something? I don't know. Oh, it's tentacle scrotum things. I don't know what they are. Are they metallic? Oh, that's very cool. Oh. Yes. Oh, I like this one. I like that. I like how there's that clear separation of the frame with the portal in the middle, and then it has that ethereal energy coming off on the sides. I like that. I like how the portal and the ethereal energy feel the same, and the frame is actually floating amongst this because it's got that really good separation there. In color, I'm talking. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. That's good stuff. Oh, different one. Yeah, see this one here, it doesn't feel the same. The colors all work fine, but see how like this one here has a bit of that orange bleeding into the frame? And so it feels like the frame is from the energy, right? As opposed to this one, where the frame does not feel like it has a lot of that purple. It feels a bit more like a gray-blue, right? And so it feels separate in the use of color. And so it feels like the frame is floating. But this one, it still feels like it's floating, but it doesn't have that same separation. The portal feels like it has more contrast inside of it as opposed to the energy outside of it. Either way, it's all good stuff. So I guess Gravetide and Prismatic Palisade did not get the Gravetide in it. Oops. Okay. Oh, from the last post? Yeah. I like this thing. This thing's cool. I have no idea what it does. Doesn't matter. Looks cool. It does not matter if it's cool or not. It just looks cool. Here, I think we already looked at this one. Yeah, we did. It's already got a like. Are we done? Yeah, I like this one too. I like his work on the teeth. Yeah. Spider? Yeah. Okay, yeah, we've already seen all this. We're up to date on the Instagrams. So, very, very cool. If you want me to have a look at your postings on Instagram, use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush, and I'm sure I'll have a look at it when I do this segment of the show. Now, I often don't do critiques of pieces on the Instagrams. I usually save that more for email, because that way I can definitively, if you sent me an email with pictures and said, critique and comment and what have yous, that's you inviting an opinion. Instagram, it's not always the case. Some people are just sharing their work because they just like to share. Just want to keep people updated. Maybe they have friends or family far away who they keep in contact with through Instagram, and they just share the pictures, but it's available to everybody, so everybody sees it. And then of course people say, "Oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, blah blah blah." You know what I mean? And yeah, like, no, it's uninvited. It's uninvited. Nathaniel, whose Batleth is that? There was a mini that looked Klingon. Oh, I think that was Sophie. Sophie posted a mini. Where the fuck did you see a Batleth? Because Sophie shared a pic, I thought, not too long ago. She was working on a Klingon thingy. I don't have that window because I refreshed it, so I don't see it anymore. But yeah. The Batleth mini, the mini with the Batleth, I'm pretty sure that's Sophie's. Heretic Scott, back when I was streaming and you dropped in, some guy noticed you and messaged me afterwards going crazy saying, "Dude, Kris from Mini Wargaming our MWG was in your stream." I was like, "Yeah, we chat now and again." He didn't believe how casual I was about it all. Oh, about this, yeah, because like talking about like celebrity and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't consider myself celebrity. Again, like I said, like it's, celebrity is when what you're known for is known to others outside of that circle, right? So like, if you're into music, but movie stars are really into you, you're a celebrity, right? If the news is talking about you, right? You know what I mean? Like that's when it's celebrity. Just having 1 million people know you on Instagram or YouTube, I mean, it's good for your numbers, but 1 million people in how many billion on this planet? 5 billion? 6 billion? Something like that? It's not really that big. Nathaniel, nice cape. Yeah. Heretic Scott, I guess that's what that's your celebrity status. Yeah, I mean, like being known, like if I go into a hobby shop and people are familiar with me, then yes, there's a degree of celebrity, but I'm known in this community. I'm not known outside of this community, right? Well, I mean, people know me outside this community, but I mean, like not for what I'm known for within the community, right? That's the point. Nathaniel, Kim posted similar pics of the Inquisitor. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, Kim usually keeps us pretty up to date with his efforts in the Discord, and yeah, if you want to see more of Kim's work in progress, because Kim posts a lot of work in progress work, because Kim's always painting. It seems like anyway. And yeah, he posts regularly. And if you want to keep up and you want to feel inspired by how much painting Kim is doing, by all means, join us in the Discord. And yeah, you'll see Kim. We have a work in progress gallery, as well as a gallery for, not a gallery, but a channel for work in progress and completed. And also terrain as well. Eric Scott, heat, shaft. The shaft. Fire Drake, I'm an old man. I don't know how pound sign work. Hashtag pound sign. Is that a hashtag, actually? Pound sign? Or pound sign hashtag? Is that like hashtag? Is hashtag a thing? Can we get hashtag trending? Sophie, yeah, I posted on my Instagram a few weeks ago, and the last week I think I've bought some Romulans since then, but not started on one yet. Oh, really? Cool. Yeah. Well, feel free to share whenever you do, Sophie. Poof. I almost said poofy. I don't know what a poofy is, but I was trying to make the S sound, but it came with a B sound. Anyway. Where am I at here? All right. How we doing on time here? We are almost 2 hours. We better get to an email then. Oh, Kim did send an email. Fucking yay. Yeah, let's jump to an email. Because there's no pressing questions in the chat. No. So let's jump over to an email. If you are wearing headphones, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Which one? That is this one. Email time. Oh, it's done. I wasn't paying attention. This one is from our good buddy Eric Scott. Dearest Lord of Monkeys, I have finally finished off a very fun little conversion project. I'm calling your Kerner? Your? Anyway, Master of the Sands. Since making this guy, I discovered the cult of Sek and the Blood Pact. I was unaware militarized cultists existed in the 40k universe. They are often depicted as normal, unskilled humans gone crazy. Either way, it has been an excellent source of inspiration. I have attached images of the original box art and my unpainted version to get an idea of what I've done to this kit. There was a last-minute decision to change the head and make a new one almost entirely from scratch. You almost entirely scratched a head? Good God, man. All right. So here is Biker Duder. Now, I think I've seen these pics, but yeah, I like the mud in the tires. That's really good. The dried mud, the dust. Oh, I like the front here. I like the way he did the headlights. I like that. Yeah. Getting a bit of a Boba Fett vibe. Would I be incorrect in that assessment? Just saying. Oh, he's got a little Gene Sealer head on the back. I really like your weathering. That's really good. And I mean, your painting is excellent. Don't get me wrong. But I like your level of wear on the tires and on the underside of the bike, in the undercarriage, as it were. Yeah. Like a little kill tally on the stock. That's really, really cool. And so you had to redo the whole head? Hey, you said there were stock photos in here. What the fuck? You fucking lied to me. You fucking lied to me. Hold on. No, it's the same damn picture. You said there was a picture of box art. You lied. I like the names he's got for all the fucking pictures. Deets and Deeks? What the fuck is Deets and Dicks? Headlamps. What is the other side? Your main. Rear wink wink. And rifle shot. Haha, puns. Love it. It's great. That, okay, I forgive the fact that there's no image of the original box art. But, yeah. Because, motherfucker, you said you attached images of the box art. You lied. You lied to me, man. You lied. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. Yeah, Eric Scott. Spoiler, I didn't include the box art. I forgot. Yeah. You would be correct. Yeah, Boba Fett? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Sent them in the Discord a while back. Oh, did you? Okay. I mean, if it's like, yeah. Sophie likes the bike. Nicely painted. Yes. Really good work on the bike. I like the weathering. I like the painting all overall. I mean, a lot of the work that Heretic Scott has been doing, like, since, conversing with Heretic and, he's been sharing work and over the couple of years. I mean, you've been around, what, a couple of years now? I mean, you've probably been around a little bit longer, but I'm saying, like, that you've been sharing your work and everything. And you've kind of really leaned into a lot of this chaos stuff. And I'm sure you've probably always been chaos, but, yeah, I have noticed a change in your painting. I have seen it. With many of you, I've seen it. I've seen the change, but with Heretic, I can really see it. It's really fun. It's really fun seeing how you guys really progress, which is why I like, often encouraging a lot of you to share your work, because I know it can, for some, that kind of action, it feels like a lot of pressure, and you're being put on the spot, and you know what I mean, and you don't really like a lot of that attention. I get that, but sometimes you have to bust out of your comfort zone to really make some growth. And I think it's very, very important that you share, even don't worry about it, if what it looks like, just the act itself is important. I don't even care if it's barely primed with a slapdash base coat on it and maybe a quick dry brush and that, like, and it's hastily done. I don't care. It's the act of the sharing of it, I think, is more beneficial to your learning and your own growth as a hobbyist. So the sharing is the more important act rather than what you're sharing. I'm not that concerned with what you're sharing. I'm more concerned with the fact that you are sharing, because you're going to see, once you start sharing, then you can actually start keeping track of your progress, right? It's like a diary, journal, diary. Like I'm a 13-year-old girl on my phone, and my feet behind me kicking in the air while I'm talking and journaling. I'm sure everybody's got that image in their head now. They're like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Why did he put that picture in my head? Heretic Scott, been around quite a while, probably 4 years. Oh, 4 years? Okay. Yeah, I wasn't too sure on how. I know we've talked many times. Yeah. I was about to say, it was going to sound bad. So I was going to say, well, I know you've been around like for a while. And but anyway, yeah. Sophie, I'm surprised Kris hasn't talked about Kenobi. If you've not seen it yet, worth a watch. You know what? Yeah, we never talked anything else, because I watched Kenobi. I have yet to watch my Shorzy finale, apparently. So apparently that fucking show was only 6 episodes, which is bullshit. And I saw Top Gun last night as well. But I'll talk about that after emails a little bit. I'll try and talk a little bit about it, if you guys really need some pop culture type shit. Heretic Scott, 19th of May is completed mini showcase. You can see the box art. Okay. Oh, like, that's how far back? Oof, man. That's too far. Too far. I'm not going back that far. Fire Drake. Ooh, Kenobi. I was hooked. Little Leia annoyed me. Yeah. Annoyed? I mean, annoyed in a good way. I mean, she is a pain in the ass, but honestly, realistically knowing, a little kid like that who becomes, a leader. Yeah, she would be headstrong. She would be annoying. She would be perceived as annoying because, yeah, she's stubborn, headstrong, because these are qualities we often associate with leaderships, and, independence, and you know what I mean? So, yeah. No, I'm quite surprised, but I'll talk about that in a bit. Heretic Scott, lazy son bitch, I'll repost it for you then. The things I do. Thanks, man. That was more of a roundabout way of me saying I'm not going to go all the way back to look for it. Son of a bitch. Love it. All right, let's do the next email. This one is from Derek. Hello, Kris and Monkeys. So I've had this airbrush for about a month and just slowly getting used to it. I started by priming some models in a zenithal prime and then just played around with it. Oh, definitely, 100% play with it. The airbrush. I used only the airbrush except on the measuring stick. I brushed the black parts. All painted were Citadel and contrast. Thanks for your time and critiques. Fire Drake 18, aka Frankie Fingers, aka Freddy Soft Hands. Fucking Fire Drake. Anyway, okay. Focus. Dumpsters. Oh, yeah. So you're airbrushing in the yellow and then laying in the darker brown tones, or did you... No, I guess you built up to the yellow. Yeah, see, again, even with airbrushing, I probably would start with the mid-tone, airbrush in the darker tone, and airbrush the lighter tone. Or start from brighter and build downwards. I find that when you're starting off really dark and building up, you end up laying a lot of paint down. When airbrushing, I prefer to build downwards. Start bright, build down to color. But these look really good. They look really good. I think if these because these are dumpsters, like trash cans. I think a bit of weathering would really make them pop. I realize that you're still mid-project, but yeah. Ooh, what's that? What is this? I see a 5, and I see some sort of design on this long thing. I don't know what this is. But I like it. I don't know what it is, but it's cool. I'm in. I don't even know what it is. It's a 5. I know it's a 5. Am I in the right window? Yeah, I'm in the right window. Yeah, I'm in. What is it? Oh, look at that. Purpley. Nice. I find, okay, here, I'll tell you one of the things that I like to do. Do I still have this on my Oh, no, I think it was on the other program. Fuck. I was going to draw on the screen, but I don't have it on this program. Anyway, when doing Airbrushed Cloth, okay, and it looks like you started off with a darker purple and built up. That's fine. When doing a bit of a zenithal type of highlighting on the figure, especially for cloth, because a lot, like especially on big robes like this and cloaks and things where the lines are vertical, right? The folds, those lines, they run vertically, right? I often find when I'm doing the highlighting, and if I'm going to do a pre-shade or zenithal priming or whatever the fuck you want to call it, at a 45-degree angle, and start building up that transition, so that the deeper color stays within the fold, and it only catches the high point. Yes, it will get a little bit brighter to one point, especially up on the shoulder, but if you're practicing your control and everything like that, you can make that work to your advantage. So basically, when you are you're airbrushing it, right? So here, let me just grab an airbrush to illustrate. Oh, almost spilled all my shit. Nice. And then we have a model with a lot of folds. Do I have something here to illustrate something with a lot of folds? I do not have anything handy. Anyway, okay, so The lines run this way, okay, and it's a cloak and it's draped, and there's the shoulder. So typically whenever we're doing zenithal priming, right, it's straight down, right, because we're imagining the light sourcing being straight down. But on cloth, if those folds run vertically, then I like to come at it like a 45 degree angle, right? So 90 degree, 45 degree, right? Approximately. It's halfway. I mean, you can go a little bit tighter, sure, but really wouldn't go any further than that. Any further than 45. Stay at 45 or less, right? So the folds are running, and if you spray straight down, the paint is going to go inside the folds. And that can be kind of annoying, and you may look at it and go, you know what? No, I want a deeper color in those folds. So that's why I recommend when you're spraying those areas that you spray at a slight angle. So as you're working, you're going less pressure to a bit more pressure. You're going less paint to more paint. And you're actually doing it a bit more like a brush stroke. Keeping the air going and then working the trigger back as you paint. So you're trying to deposit more paint up at the high point at this angle. You shouldn't have to do it too much because you can still come in at here, but you just want to get a little bit here, especially where you're building that gradient on the cloth. Does that make sense? That might help with vertical details like that. But anyway, yeah, see something like this here. Yeah, out on the on those folds that where they run left to right. Yeah, the straight up and down spraying action will work and bring that texture up, but up by his shoulders, you got to change the angle a little bit. With airbrushing, you still have to kind of follow the landscape, as it were. I like the wings. It's pretty cool. I like the color. Not familiar with this model. Bunch of Marvel Duders. Very cool. Oh, is that it? That's it. And that pill bottle is being actively used. Fucking heart medications right there. Fucking heart medication. Nah, fuck it. I'll do it live. Holy shit, Kim, you sent a bunch of pictures. Bunch of pictures. Any comments I'm missing? Sophie, Marvel Crisis, nice. Fire Drake, it's a Marvel Crisis Protocol measuring tool. Oh, okay, that's what that thing is? Okay, the 5? Okay. I didn't know what it was. I haven't played Marvel Crisis, so I have no idea. Nathaniel, I thought it was an objective marker. Yeah, I have no idea. Heretic, fill the folds nice and deep. Fire Drake, thanks, Kris. Yeah, no problem. Nathaniel, antidepressants. No, man, the miniatures are supposed to be your antidepressants. Miniatures should make you happy. The hobby should make you happy, right? Shouldn't need antidepressants if you're happy in your hobby time. If you're not happy in your hobby time, then yeah, you might need antidepressants. And I realize, yes, there's many conditions where you still would need antidepressants for whatever the fuck, right? Just to live. I get it. Alrighty. That coffee's starting to really get cold. Okay. Last email. This one's from our good buddy Kim. Hello, monkey lord and monkeys. Here are some things I painted that has not made its way to Instagram yet. All painted fast to a tabletop standard, so points of improvement are welcome. Best regards, Kim. Or Como. Ooh, I like the flesh. Me likey. Nice and clean. Very typical of Kim's work. Kim works really nice. Yeah, straightforward. I like colors. No, I like the even the work on the base, the color there. It feels like that box art color they used. Like a little splat of blood. Mortarian, really nice work on the eyes. That was really impressive. He looks sinister. Inquisitor. Oh, see, this picture feels familiar now. Like, I realize, yes, we saw this on Instagram, but I mean, like, I feel like I've seen this image. I just didn't see those other images on the Instagrams. But yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I like it. Very nice. Man, I've got a few of these war bands. I got to get them together. I want to get some Underworlds in. Play some games. Oh, look at that. Creepy. Nice work on the flesh. Yes, I've been seeing your work on these eyes here on the wings. Very, very cool. Kim's got some big mitts on him, man. Not even looking at miniatures. I was just looking at the size of Kim's hands. Like how does he manipulate these miniatures with paws like that? I like your work on the leather here. That's really good. This zombie looks like, excuse me, sir. I'd like to talk to you about our Lord and Savior. Weathering, very cool. Yeah. He's like, come again? What the fuck did you just say to me? That's the expression of this zombie. He's like, what the fuck did you just say? Ooh, look at that. Do you have Instagram pictures of this guy? Have we already looked at like the full finished miniature of this? I don't feel like we have. I don't know, Kim. You gotta let me know. I pay attention, but I don't pay attention. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I'm terrible. Very, very cool, Kim. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if you've done like pretty pics yet for Mortarion, or is he like officially done? I don't know. I gotta see here. No, Nathaniel, with my background, it'd be antidepressant. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Yeah, some people, yeah, they really need that to help them function. I get it. It wasn't an accusation or anything. Or maybe it was. But maybe. So I'm just refreshing a couple things here. Yeah, okay. Save it for next week. Save that. All right. So we got through our emails. We got through our Instagrams. We are 2 minutes 13. Or 2 minutes. 2 hours 13. So we can pretty much end it there. Oh, right. We were going to talk about Kenobi. So, Kenobi. If you are, looking for spoiler-free, then stop the stream here and come back after you've watched the first 2 episodes. Also, I watched Top Gun last night as well. I saw it in we lost our IMAX in area, but this theater provides IMAX light kind of experience. So it's laser projected and it's full sound and everything like that. Top Gun Maverick, loved it. Really hard pressed to find things that I just would say ruin the movie. I honestly cannot think of anything. I thoroughly enjoyed how it's a sequel. It is a sequel to the first movie. It breaks that, usually sequels suck of a movie, right? They're usually really bad. Like this does fall into that category of Aliens being the sequel to Alien, Terminator 2 being the sequel to Terminator, right? This is one of those films that falls in that category where the sequel is just as good and in some regards is, dare I say it, better than the first. Yeah, this is one of those films. It's got, it tells a decent story. It still takes place within its fictional universe. It's not, Top Gun's not a realistic movie, like not a movie in a real setting. And yeah, the idea of of Maverick and, you know, what his life, like we get a glimpse of what his life has kind of been like. And, you know, I mean, we're basically catching up with an old friend we had from way back in the day, and we're seeing how things are going. And things, you know, they're not bad, but they're not great either. You know, it's kind of where we expected things, you know. And the flight sequences, amazing. And in the near IMAX experience, yeah, they're fucking great. You're basically watching this on this gigantic ass screen, which is crystal clear and sounds so deep that you rumble, right? You could feel it like in your chest as the sound and the jets and, you know, things are firing up and missiles are flying and guns are going, and you know what I mean. And yeah, it does have some Hollywood moments in it, but so does the first film, and it's to be expected. This is a popcorn film. It's a popcorn film, but it manages to tell a good story, and it does have some heart to it. And yeah, there are moments where you're like kind of getting choked up, you know. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's got those as well. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. And again, like I said, I'm really hard pressed to find anything where glaringly would just completely ruin the film for me. And I can't think of anything. Like there's like even like, okay, for example, like Terminator 2. What in Terminator 2 just completely draws you out of the movie, right? It's that kind of thing where it's just, no, it's really, really good. It does everything really, really well. And Top Gun Maverick being a sequel, I like that it stays true to its own little mythos. I like that as well. And everybody, it feels like it's another chapter in this character. And I like that. I like that we even though we have this 30-year gap in story, we still pick right up and we still pretty much know where we're at, right? I liked it. Jobs left nut. By then, no spoilers, I'm off. Nathaniel, I take from the trailers Goose's offspring is featured in Top Gun 2. Yes. Yeah. Well, because, I mean, we see the boy in scenes in the first movie. He's just a boy, right? And here, he's older, obviously. Right? Yeah. And it's basically, you know, it deals with the repercussions of things that happened in that first film that aren't really quite resolved, right? And so we get resolution on some of those things, right? I mean, the trailers don't really give anything away. I mean, it's airplanes, it's Maverick flying around, right? Like, again, it's not terribly deep, challenging stuff. It's not, you know, it's not fucking Citizen Kane or anything like that. It's just a good movie. I enjoyed it. And yeah. Heretic Scott, I haven't actually seen the original Top Gun. No, give it a watch. If you're curious about this new film, yeah. If you've not seen Top Gun and you're going to go watch Maverick, yeah, a lot of it is just going to be, I mean, it recaps it and gets you into it. Like, you don't have to have seen the original film, but it certainly helps. And a lot of the emotional elements to the story will have greater weight. But otherwise, yeah. I mean, if you just want to watch airplanes and some really great action sequences involving dogfighting with airplanes, then yeah. Like, there's one part where I thought it was just great. Where, no, I really don't want to spoil it, but, you know, it's just where the two planes are like this, and then he just fucking just jams the plane right across, and he just sweeps the other plane with his guns, and just, you know, he destroys them, of course, because he's the hero of the movie. But yeah, anyway, it's just a really great moment where it's just like you can feel the tension, and then all of a sudden he just fuck it, and he takes it, and he hammers the guns, and just and takes the other plane out. You know, that's good. I mean, I like airplanes. Yeah. Anyway, Sophie, I take it Tom Cruise is still a posing big head in this sequel like the first one. Yeah, not a Tom Cruise fan. No. With Tom Cruise, yeah, he's always Tom Cruise. He's one of those actors that, you know, he's always Tom Cruise. But Sometimes, no, he does have some really great moments. Like, for example, Tropic Thunder. Tom Cruise is fucking hilarious in that movie. And he's not Tom Cruise. So, the guy can act. And as far as him being, you know, a cultist, well, you can set that aside. I mean, he still makes great movies. I mean, like, I love the Mission Impossible movies. Those are great movies. You know, he is kind of going down that route of Jackie Chan, where doing their own stunts, and that's actually a part of the big draw to the movies, is that, you know, they're actually in those scenarios. Because, like, in this new Top Gun movie, yeah, they're actually in those jets. They're not actually flying them, but they're actually in those jets. And so when they're doing these high G turns, you can see it in their faces as the G's are pulling on them. And all the actors, all of them. So it feels very real when you can actually see the G's pulling on them as they're fucking doing shit. Oh, yeah. It's really cool. But yeah, that's Tom Cruise. I mean, like, you know, he's about, you know, the spectacle and, you know, the getting it in camera, that it's real, right? Because there's some stuff that, you know, obviously, like, it's just CG just doesn't do it, right? If they're in a cockpit, and even if it was like Mandalorian, where they're in the volume, where they can get that realistic lighting and you don't even need the green screen, you could just feel like a real thing. Even that, simulating the G-forces, I mean, to do that digitally would just look weird. You would see that it was a digital effect. But because the G-forces are actually pulling on them, everything acts like the G-forces are pulling on, because the G-forces are actually pulling on them, right? So it's really, really cool. Now, is it to the same degrees as what they're depicting in the movie? Not quite. But it's enough to get that visual representation that they're, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably they're doing like 3 and 4G pulls, as opposed to, like, I think it's like 9Gs that they're doing in the movie. But yeah. Anyway. Kim, the Inquisitor is in the mail I sent today. Yeah. How far behind are you, Kim? Fire Drake. Sorry, I instantly jumped to Kenobi. Yeah, no problem. Kenobi. Nathaniel. I liked him in Jack Reacher, especially the scene at the bus stop. Yeah, Jack Reacher wasn't bad. Jack Reacher felt a little bit more, you know, akin to his... It was more like a darker side of, like, the Ethan... What is it? His Mission Impossible Ethan Hunt? Yeah, his Ethan Hunt character. But yeah. Fire Drake. Haha, Tropic Thunder, Tom Cruise, and Robert Downey. Classic. Yeah, Robert Downey's fantastic in that movie. And Tom Cruise... Tom Cruise in that almost steals the show in Tropic Thunder. And if you've never watched Tropic Thunder, give it a watch. It's one of the few Ben Stiller movies that I actually really like. I'm not a big fan of Ben Stiller. And yeah, like Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, there's a few of them where I'm just like, no, I'm getting really tired. Like, I also watched that, finally I watched it on the streaming services. I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I was actually pleasantly surprised by that one. I was coming into expecting it, you know, kind of Ghostbusters 2, right? And it wasn't. It actually tells a really good story, and it's actually respectful. See, and again, these are these kinds of movies that I like when we're getting a sequel, but they stay true to the source material and they're respectful of the source material, especially with these cult classic type of films and stories. And I like that. I like when they are, you know, it's not building on nostalgia. It's not callbacks for nostalgia's sake or callback's sake. It's they're continuing the natural arc that would come from those pivotal moments from the previous story, and what are the repercussions of those choices that were made. That's staying true to the source material within the fiction, right? Is the lasting repercussions of choices that the characters made in the previous things, right? And I like that. And it makes for good and continuous storytelling, as opposed to sequels which will just want to do a bunch of callbacks, tell the same jokes, have the same beats, right? That is crap. That's crap. That's just mindless drivel. That's just there. It's the equivalent of clickbait. It's the equivalent of clickbait. That's hard to say. Equivalent of clickbait. Say that 10 times fast. And yeah, so I don't really care for that. Kenobi, I was very surprised with Kenobi. I've talked many times. You can probably do a whole 2-hour show of or clips of me talking and shit talking Kenobi. It remains to be seen if I'll be shit talking Kenobi. But at the moment, I'm pleasantly surprised. It is not going in the direction I thought it might go, and I'm glad. I'm glad it hasn't gone where it was. Because remember, I've talked in the past about Kenobi, about, you know, like his whole point for 20 years was to watch over Luke, right? Now, he already is, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a failure. And in the beginning of this Kenobi, I've not seen Kenobi yet, no spoilers. Well, then leave. I already said this like 10 minutes ago. I said, if you've not, because I'm going to talk about Kenobi, and if you have not watched it, then leave. Go. I already said that earlier, because we're talking Kenobi now. I'm going to share my thoughts with it. So everybody who has watched it, stay. Everybody who hasn't watched it, better go. Because I'm talking Kenobi now. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it and then come back. I'll wait. Oh, did you go watch it? Okay. Anyway, yeah, so you better leave. Leave. Because I'm talking Kenobi now. So anyway, I'm pleasantly surprised of where it's going. And it seems really obvious where they should have gone and where it is going. Like where they've gone with it, it should have been very obvious to a lot of us. And what does it say that we never even thought about where they could have went with this? Because Kenobi leaving Luke, right? Like the idea of him going off world, and we see him in the trailers, he's off world. At least it looks like he's off world. And it's like, well, what the fuck, Obi? Because you're supposed to be watching over the kid. These Inquisitors and everything like that are looking for Force wielders, and you're just going to leave Luke on some fucking farm in the middle of nowhere by himself? Like, this guy is supposed to be the guy who's supposed to, you know, be the new hope. And you're abandoning him. You're basically dereliction of duty. You're on guard and you're supposed to watch over him. And leaving him is dereliction of duty, for God's sakes. But I mean, Obi-Wan already is a failure. There's many times where Obi-Wan is, you can determine that he is a failure. And where we pick up with Obi-Wan here, because it's spoiler. Well, I already told you it was spoilers. It's 10 years after apparently Revenge of the Sith, and Obi-Wan Kenobi is suffering from PTSD because of his failures, which makes complete sense. He is a failure, and he's suffering now for his failures. And so, you know, I think that is really, really fantastic. As far as building upon the arc of the character, I think that's really, really important. And it makes Obi-Wan very, very human and relatable. Because he fucked up time and again, and then we see him in A New Hope, and he's this wise old man. So he had 20 years to fucking think about his shit over in the desert, like, to get over all his fuck-ups? No, he suffered through that time because of his fuck, because he can't sleep, right? He's broken. I mean, in the show, he fucking basically gave that kid up. He fucked up again, and he basically got that kid killed. He could have just spent 2 minutes telling that kid where to go, where to hide, what to do, help him out. He could have helped that kid. They were alone in the desert, and he fucking gave that kid up. Right? Why? Because of his PTSD. Because he was in his own head about all this stuff. He's suffering. Right? The weight of his failures is crushing him. And that makes complete sense. Because he's fucked up. And so for him to abandon Luke to go off on this mission, what would be the reason to pull him away? And I'm surprised that nobody mentioned this. I mean, I'm sure somebody mentioned it, but not anybody that I was paying attention to. Not that I pay attention to a lot of people, but anyway. Spoiler, Leia. That's the only way you would get him away from protecting Luke. It's because he had to go protect Leia. And so I think this whole series is going to be Obi-Wan and Leia and them trying to get her back to Alderaan. I think that's what the show is going to be primarily about. That's what the focus is, because it also makes sense when you look at A New Hope. Why is Leia so adamant that she has to get to Kenobi? Because Kenobi protected her. Because Kenobi is a trusted ally, right? That's why. Because she knows Kenobi. She remembers him saving her when she was a kid, right? And that's why she has so much faith in Obi-Wan. Because she knows Obi-Wan to be the hero who's going to help her, right? So I think that's what this Kenobi show is really about. It's about Obi-Wan and Leia, and because we have nothing on Leia from her birth, growing up on Alderaan. I mean, it's pretty safe to assume she grows up protected. She's in a palace. She's well educated, right? I mean, there's many, many things we can attribute to Leia, but we've never explored Leia. And you can also view the fact that Leia is very, very important because she's part of the Force, right? Because she's the offspring of Anakin. And we always treat it as Luke. But realistically, it should always have been Luke and Leia. Right? Which is why whenever we talk about Star Wars and stuff, that the sequels, the 7, 8, 9, they should have just been stories about Luke and Leia. That should have been the focus of those movies. Right? Because then that would have really illustrated that the prophecy and everything of the Chosen One was true. Right? Anakin was the Chosen One. He would bring balance to the Force. Well, after all this death and destruction, you only have one light user and one dark user, right? Because the path that Luke is taking in the movies, he is heading towards being a Sith. And so 7, 8, 9 really should have been Luke continuing on that path where he's treading into the dark side. And Leia, being a good person that she is, would have been the light side, right? And then, of course, we could have got further into the kids and how that would, you know what I mean? And then some sort of balance in the Force being established, because that was supposed to be the prophecy. He'd bring in balance. Obi-Wan in the movies says, you were supposed to destroy the Sith. That wasn't the prophecy. The prophecy wasn't for him to destroy the Sith. He was to bring balance to the Force. And he does. Because basically, the Order of the Jedi and the Order of the Sith are both destroyed by the end of Anakin's lifespan. And he has 2 offspring, 2 children, male and female, light and dark. Right? Sounds like fucking balance to me, no? So anyway, yeah, so I think this Kenobi show, I think that's the focus. I think it's primarily on Obi-Wan and Leia. This is going to be just Obi-Wan's venture, and this would be the only reason that Obi-Wan would leave the planet, to leave his guard duty, because he's protecting the future, right? That's the whole point of Obi-Wan, is that he's standing guard, watching over Luke, right? At least that's the way it was established from episode 3 to episode 4, is that 20 years goes by, Obi-Wan's hiding in the desert, laying low, watching over Luke. And I like that the fact that we had the scene where Obi-Wan drops off the little fighter toy. I can't remember what that ship is called, but the one where we see in A New Hope where Luke is still playing with it, you know, he brings that by for Luke. And I like how he's kind of like this fairy godmother, fairy godfather to Luke. And he's, you know, he'll occasionally drop off things for him. And the intro with Obi-Wan and him, you know, dealing with the Jawa, too funny. It was too funny. He basically, again, that's a man given up, right? That whole interaction with the Jawa, that is a man defeated. His interactions with that Jawa, yeah, he's defeated. That's a man defeated. That conversation of him getting fucked over by the Jawa, that is a man defeated. So that's the whole point of that conversation, is to illustrate that Obi-Wan is just, yeah, the world's fucking me over and there's not much I can do, you know? That's it. He's given up. He's given up, and he's putting whatever effort he can muster into trying to guard Luke. That is his duty. So why would he abandon his duty? And it seems obvious now. It's because he's got to go protect Leia. See, it seemed like Leia would be protected as fuck on Alderaan, but apparently not, right? So, yeah, you know, it's very interesting. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Fire Drake. I wonder if he means old Ben Kenobi. Fire Drake. Following Leia after Luke's arc would have been masterful. Oh yeah, yeah. Following Luke and Leia and Luke. Yeah, like episodes 7, 8, 9 should only have been about Luke and Leia. That should have been the focus. And of course, their kids, if they have kids, right? But yeah, that's where it should have been, right? Dark Commission. I saw Star Wars twice at the cinema in 77. Oh, how I laughed at Obi-Wank Kenobi or Nobby. I'm sure with an English accent that rolls off the tongue a little bit better, but no. Over here it's Obi-Wank Nob I. Yeah, so it doesn't quite roll off the tongue. I mean, it's funny. It's good. It doesn't have that same lyrical type of flair. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Kenobi. That was my thoughts on Top Gun. Quick little thoughts on Ghostbusters. What else have I been watching? Oh, Shoresy. If you're not into Canadian humor, Letterkenny and Shoresy, fucking fantastic. Shoresy is just great. If you're not watching those, then we can't be friends. We're not going to be friends. If crude hockey humor and Canadian humor are just off-putting, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're not going to get along. We're not going to get along at social events, for sure. I mean, I can play nice. But, you know, again. Anyway. Dark Commission. Not being slang for male appendage, of course. Yeah, I got that. Because, yeah, I saw it. Wank and Nub. Wank a Nub. Yeah, I got it. Obi, Wank a Nub, B. Wank a Nubby? Yeah. No, I get it. But with the English accent, I'm sure it sounds better. But, yeah. If you're brand new to this hobby, you want some help with the color scheme, maybe you're a commissioned artist, you want to drum up some extra eyeballs on your work, whatever it is, feel free to ask your questions whenever you're attending these live. And of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can always submit your questions to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. Of course, you can also use the hashtag #WayOfTheBrush on the Instagrams and socials, and feel free to share that way as well. I do an Instagram portion of the show. I also do email portion of the show. So feel free to keep those things going. And again, I said it earlier in the show. That's why I encourage sharing. It's not for me. It's not for clicks and things of that nature. It's for you. I'm trying to get you out of your little comfort zone and get you to expand your horizons. And when we really expand our horizon is when we really make truly interesting discoveries and insights into this hobby and into painting. And yeah, that's when we really start to learn people, especially when we're in that pressure cooker and we're out of our comfort zone and we're like, oh fuck, what's going on? I don't know about this. Should I use this color? Oh, what about this medium? Is this safety? No, let's just go. And then you're really kind of thinking about stuff at that point. That's when you're really thinking. But when it's all just paint by numbers and you're not thinking, you're not learning anything. You're not challenging yourself. You're not like if your quest is to just do that, then by all means carry on. But if your quest is to get better at this and become a more competent, more experienced painter and happier, more fulfilled, then you got to get out of your comfort zone and you got to explore. And yeah, sometimes you make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, but that's okay because those are learning opportunities to expand your knowledge and to become better. So keep those emails and hashtags and blah, blah, blah. Keep them all rolling in. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversation rolling there 24/7. And so feel free to join us there. There's only one rule in the Discord. It is don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. DON''T. Don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule. And so feel free to join us in the Discord. Also at wayofthebrush.com is a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support and all you brand new ones as well. A huge, huge thank you to all of you. I would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do without your support. And so a huge thank you to all of you for your support. Big thank you to Carl Guymere for Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time. Thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles to play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating intro, outro music that plays the begin and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby bro Evan. And if you're into rare comics, EB Comics, it's in the description below. Rare comics. Boop. Is that it? Fire Drake. Stranger Things season 4 is out too. Oh yeah, Stranger Things. We're probably gonna catch that one today or tomorrow. Just at some point. Fire Drake. Accept me. I'm old and set in my ways. Everyone else, do what Kris says. That's a ringing endorsement, eh? Everybody else, just do what Kris says. Yeah, just do it. Whatever. All right. I think we're done. Oh, Sophie, catch you all next stream, peeps. You're gonna catch everybody like Pokemon. You're gonna do like the Pokemon thing and throw the ball. I got you, Pokemon. The Pokemans. I don't know. All right, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go enjoy the rest of our day. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys in the next exciting video. Exciting. It's not a guarantee. I got to have another caption down here. Not real guarantee.